Heya! I am enjoying a beautiful day in the garden today. So I thought I'd give you a quick tour just to see how things are progressing along. Here in South Australia, we've had just like a heap of rain. It's been a bit kind of crazy, but the garden's coping all right. And I'm just totally embracing this warm weather today. I'm going to try and keep this quick. So let's go. So my strawberry patch is absolutely cranking at the moment. I am just getting so many like super big strawberries. Probably picking about 1 kilo a day or every other day. And that's even sharing them with the pests as well. Beautiful oregano. And then I've got here some horseradish. Okay, so I've got all these beautiful sunflowers coming along at the moment, and they're all just about ready to pop, and they're laden, and they're actually taller than me, which is not hard, but I love sunflowers. A few more strawberries here. I've just planted a heap more sunflowers along here, which actually isn't a garden bed, but because it gets sort of wet from when I water my strawberries, I reckon it'll be okay. It's a bit shady, but we'll be right. Some basil in there. Now this whole row all the way down to the end of the garden bed is tomatoes, which I've had to prune out pretty well. And you really do want to be pruning out your tomatoes just to keep them well aerated, but also too to get rid of any diseased leafy growth. I've had a fair bit of blight from the rain, so I've had to prune mine back pretty hard, but also too you don't want any of those leaves to be touching the ground because they're going to be more inclined to get disease and pests as well. So don't be afraid to give them a bit of, a bit of a prune here and there. Obviously you want the leaf for a bit of shade for the tree and photosynthesis and all of that, but yeah, do give them a bit of a prune. So rhubarb is going well, and then I've got more strawberries in here. Kale is going crazy at the moment. Got my first sunflower for the season. This chili bush is about 3 years old and it's just starting to come back. Some more sunflowers. I've got some beetroot going through there. And I've got some onions, which I will probably pick in the next day or two. Some more chilies through there. I think they're habaneros. Now behind me is my garlic patch, and I've been low-key peeking out about my garlic. No, not even low-key. I have been peeking out about them because we've had a heap of rain, and at this time of the year you really want them to be drying out. And I was like, oh no, I should have picked them, a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't. So I'm so stoked that the next couple of days are going to be quite warm. So by the end of tomorrow, I'm going to check it out, and I'm probably going to harvest them tomorrow. And I really hope that all this moisture and me keeping him for a little bit longer hasn't kind of screwed them up. I haven't really kept to my garlic plan, but it's gardening, and sometimes you just can't keep to a plan, and you've just got to kind of go with the moment, see what happens, and that's exactly what I'm doing with my garlic. But fingers crossed, it's all going to go well. So that's my garlic at the moment. Okay, so this is my zucchini patch, which is cranking along. Now I've probably planted these too close together, and the thing with zucchini is they really do like to be well aerated because they're very prone to powdery mildew. So don't be afraid, and I do this routinely anyway, is to come around and prune off leaves that look a bit old or that have any signs of powdery mildew, and just to keep them well aerated. But they are coming along so nicely, so I'm pretty happy. My dragon fruit, which is out of control, I said I was going to do something with that this year, but I didn't. That is so not how you meant to trellis dragon fruit, but there you have it, and it grows super fast too. But I'm hoping I get some actual dragon fruit this year. I'm going to keep them a bit more well watered. Okay, so this is my second planting of corn. That is my first, and that's coming along really, really nicely. That's probably up to sort of like my ribs. I've got some purple beans through here, which are coming along nice, and I'm probably going to plant some more through there as well. This is just a bit of a random spot. I grow this silver beet mainly for my chooks. And this one back here is going to seed, and there are just like seeds all over it. And I put seed, I let this go to seed last year, so it grew upon itself. So this is the second year, but it's sort of on the outskirts of the garden bed, so I just kind of let it do what it does. Behind me is my Taj Mahal of shading for my cucumbers. As you know, I just use stuff that I find or that I get for free, and this particular piece of shade cloth came from the dump. It's got holes in it. I've tried to sew some of it up, but with the wind and that, I'm just realizing that it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to come through and fashion up something else. I'm going to try and keep some of it, but add some extra shade. With my cucumbers, I always shade them. And that works for me. It keeps them sort of out of the wind, and yeah, that's what I do. So I'm not sure if you guys shade your cucumbers, but they're coming along really well. I've got a few different plantings of them at the moment at different stages, but mostly all Lebanese, I think all continental. Those ones at the back seem to be doing the best. Now that bush at the back, those two creeper vines, are actually kiwi fruit. I've been growing that kiwi fruit for about 7 years and I've never had anything off of it. I'm actually starting to suspect that possibly the rootstock took over, which is why they're not fruiting. But if you know anything about kiwi fruit, please hit me up, let me know what I'm doing wrong. But maybe this is the year. Let's hope for that. Now, I've got my blackberry here, which is on a creeper behind me. This blackberry is absolutely laden, and I'm going to have a killer crop of these this year. If you want to plant any kind of berry, I highly recommend the Waldo variety of blackberry. It is thornless, and most berries are thorny as hell. It's not overly rampant, but it's still, you know, a really, really strong grower. I've had to sort of improvise this spot because it probably wasn't big enough, and I didn't know that it was going to get this big, so I've sort of just had to trellis stuff around it. But it's sort of like anything, it hasn't really affected how well it's fruiting. And then coming back around again, that was more tomatoes that I've got coming through here. I've got some loofah planted in here, which I've never grown before, so I can't wait to see how that goes. My spring onion patch, which is all kind of going to seed. So as you can see, I've got one side that I've refreshed and one side that I'm just letting do its thing, and hopefully I'll drop a heap of those seed back into the garden and let it reproduce on its own. And I've got heaps and heaps of coriander that's going to seed at the moment, so I'll be harvesting that fairly soon. And parsley, which I don't harvest the seed off of because I don't need to, it grows everywhere. And I'll probably hack that back fairly soon. Some beautiful chives. And this is my carrot patch, so I'm picking from this patch. This patch I'll pick from next, and then I've just started another patch here, and those radishes are probably only another 5 days away from being picked. And I've got some capsicums growing through here, which are going okay. I regularly give my capsicums a spray with an Epsom salt dilution, and that helps with fruit setting. So that's me done. That's a quick tour of my garden. I hope your garden's going along well too. I hope wherever you are, you're having an awesome day and you're embracing the sunshine. Have a good one. See ya.